Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here with a little bit of an impromptu video today. Now, I want to talk about Gamma again, but I want to talk about Gamma 4.5. I want to talk about how effing ridiculous this is. If you look at the stats, which now they are up on msf.gg, well, I guess it's marvelstrikeforce.com now anyways, but you can see the characters, you can see their stats, and I want to kind of compare some of these to my characters and how absolutely ridiculous it is. If any of you guys watched my video from the today or the other day, whenever you watched it anyways, my Gamma playthrough of 4.4 in the middle lane, then you might have noticed that at least on the boss nodes, the powers are just through the effing roof, and how I got slammed by a Hulk ult. Now I want to take a look at some of these boss nodes as well, but on 4.5 and how ridiculous it is and what are their expectations are of us for us to be able to clear that in the future. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. And before we get there though, so I haven't quite joined my Gamma. We launched 4.4 again. We did actually clear at 60%. Thankfully, we did get our first time bonuses, which was quite nice. So we did get that, and we did unlock 4.5. But you know, obviously, we can't do this. It's gear tier 16, and the problem is actually, and I might be able to show this to you really quick here because I'm going to do the exact same lane again, not in this video, but that's what I plan on doing. Is that you do need actually 5 characters to be, and hopefully that doesn't lock me in. You need 5 characters at gear tier 14 to just start the node, or gear tier 16 if you're doing difficulty 5. Like, you can't start it unless you have 5 characters. They also can't be dead. So you have to have a fully functioning 5-man team, and I really hope, yeah, okay, that didn't lock me in. So I do normally go this Brotherhood shield like I did for the other ones, and this time, hopefully, I will have a partner so that we can actually clean this boss out, because that's where I wiped and I couldn't go any past that. Because if you guys watched the video, Hulk stomped on me and I died, and then I only had Calling Wing and Misty Knight, and I didn't have a full team, so I couldn't really go back in. So other than that, though, if I were able to clean that one out, I could probably keep going. So we did manage to get to the 60%, but boy, is it worth the trouble? I don't think so. I think for the Absorbing Man event, which is going to be coming soon, and we're going to be covering that as well, that we're going to be scaling it back to 4.3 after this raid ends. So I just kind of wanted to point that out, but I also wanted to kind of mention how 4.5, it says that it's supposed to add teal per reward tier, teal elite orb fragments. We're going to see on the map in msf.gg/marvelstrikeforce why it doesn't actually show that. And if it's only 1 teal elite orb per reward tier, like, I don't know where they're trying to, like, we're going to take a look at some of these stats and compare it to some of my characters and just how extraordinary that really is. And just in preparation, you know, I'm going to bring my roster page up. But let's go on over here to marvelstrikeforce.com. I'm gonna keep saying msf.gg for a while. So you can see this is 4.5. And this is the goal reward tiers at the various things. And it doesn't have the teal elite orb, so I'm a bit confused. Again, I didn't get a chance to actually look at it in-game because I've already launched 4.4, so I can't switch it over to 4.5 to check the reward tiers in the game. But it doesn't actually show any of them here. Regardless, though, like, basically everything is the same. So are they expecting us to run 4.5 even in the future? And by the way, remember, we also have the level 95 cap. Are we expected to level 95 some of these characters for a measly teal elite orb and per 30% or per threshold, and without really any increase to any of the other rewards? There is some additional raid season points per node, but really it's nothing much. And there is no increase to the gold orbs. I don't believe. There may be to the gamma raid orb fragments, but it's honestly worthless, because the orbs haven't been updated, and it's mostly orange gear. I don't even think there's teal gear. I think it's purple and orange gear in there. So otherwise, it's kind of a load of crap. So let's kind of take a look at, like, how are you going to, and you saw what I could use, right? How are you going to be able to clear this shield and aim node? These ones here, you might be able to get, like, the first node down. But, like, you know, the only good shield characters are OG Cap and Maria Hill. There is Nick Fury, like you saw in my video, that was usable as well, but he's not a good character. And none of the aim characters are really good at this point. So I don't know. Does that mean that there's going to be an aim rework? How many of these reworks need to happen? First of all, we have aim here, which is garbage. We have Defenders, which is pretty garbage over here. There is Heroes for Hire, but they're honestly, outside of Shang-Chi, pretty shit too. Mercenaries, we have Taskmaster, like I showed off in my video, and maybe Killmonger. Other than that, is pretty shit as well. So this whole middle section is honestly pretty garbage. And then you have, this first bit on the left and the right is pretty easy. And then you have Kree Pimtech. This is fucking garbage, I have to say. And Pimtech Wakandan. That's okay. If you have a fully functioning Wakandan team, that's probably fine. I heard, though, from one of my alliance mates that they tried to sim this with a pretty strong Wakandan, and they wiped. So, I don't know where they wiped, if they wiped on the boss, or if they managed to clear through, but apparently they had like an 800k Wakandan and weren't able to get through. So, I don't know what's intended here. Kree and Pimtech, utter garbage. The only good characters are obviously coming from Kree, which would be Phyla-Vell, Minerva, I guess, but only for veterans, and Captain Marvel. I forgot. Captain Marvel is also Kree. And that's about it. Right, so this is one of the worst lanes that exists here, and there's 3 nodes for that, which is garbage. So if you are trying to do the side nodes, really just pile up in the Pimtech Wakandan if you can, and if not, get fucked. And that's probably the only way that you're going to be able to get through that. And then even for the middle, I would actually recommend just piling up one side and kind of just getting through to here, to this boss that I wiped on the last time, and then kind of like going up through whichever lane after that. It gets a little bit easier. So what I want to do here is I want to take a look at the boss. This wasn't actually that bad. I want to take a look at this boss. So this is the boss that wiped me in the gameplay video from yesterday. Now, the levels isn't the issue. Notice how they're level 70 in purple gear, right? Not a problem. Or is it? Because they have 500,000 power. 500,000 power. Holy shit. There we go. So you can see on the side, on the right-hand side, Hulk has 1.6 million hit points, and he's got 183 damage. Sorry, 183,000 damage. Let me take, because that was the middle lane that I did. Let me take Shang-Chi. T-posing Shang-Chi is still kind of bugged. He was my strongest character in the middle lane. And what is his stats? Oh, he's got 55,000 damage. And, 750,000 hit points. Okay, sure, and 23,000 armor. Let's see, Hulk has 183,000 damage. Alright, 55 versus 183,000. That's over triple the amount of damage that Shang-Chi can put out. Which means that if you compare his armor stat to the damage stat, it's like, oh my god. Like, one hit and everyone's dead. Like, I want to find somebody to do this. I want, not to mention that you need these characters at gear tier 16, which frankly is just not going to happen either, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But the damage stats are just flat out ridiculous. Anything with an AoE is going to kick your ass. Miles, 127,000. When he uses his ult, he's just going to clean the board probably for like 500,000 damage to everyone. And they're going to be characters that can't take this. So I don't know what they're expecting. And I honestly would just love to run this for sheer hilarity, because I think that's what's going to happen. Because even though there's only like, well, in this case, there's 15 mobs, I think 15 enemies, sorry, MMO terms there. So 5, 7, 10, 15. I don't know what they're expecting out of us. I want to kind of take a look at some of the middle stuff, though, like the shield and aim specifically. And we'll do the second node, because you're expected to use, I guess, OG Cap, Maria Hill, 2 aim characters, and maybe Nick Fury. So, unless they're giving a reworked, Hawkeye, right? He's a shield character. Maybe there's a whole shit ton of reworks coming that are going to satisfy this 4.5, maybe. Or that I don't know what their plans are. And that's why I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below, because of how sick this is. Even shitty characters like Shield Security. Actually, he wasn't that bad back in the day. He's got a damage stat of 50,000. Now, his health is not very high, so that's good news. But if he even manages to hit you, dear lord, like, he's on par with my level 90 maxed out, gear tier 6, pretty much maxed out. He's not gear tier 17, but pretty much maxed out Shang-Chi, right? So even a special from Shield Security is going to wreck your face on some of these older characters that haven't been buffed. So I don't know what I want, just for sheer hilarity. I know there's Wakandan in here, but I do want to kind of look at the third node for Kree Pimtech. There's Hand Assassins. Now, Hand Assassins typically wouldn't be that scary, right? But hold on. Hand Assassin has almost 80,000 damage. Okay, so that's even more than my Shang-Chi. And we're talking about using Kree and Pimtech characters who are under their powers are under their stats are not as good as some of the newer characters, so they're gonna get flattened. Elektra's got 100,000 damage, so if she ults, you're fucked. Because that's or does that not happen anymore? I know that happens on the Shadowland team. I don't know if Elektra does actually ult on the first turn. I think she specials, now that I think about it. But she does ult if you have Shadowland versions, which I don't think this is. Either way, Kree Reaper, he's going to flatten you too. There's 2 of them. That's 80,000 damage apiece. Hand Blade Master, 90,000, going to flatten you. Hand Assassin's going to flatten you again. So there's a lot of burst damage here that you're not going to be able to get through with some of these characters. So what are they expecting? Are we expecting a Kree and Pimtech rework, a AIM rework, a Brotherhood rework, Merc maybe Hydra maybe? The middle stuff actually isn't that bad, because then you get X-Men, and this makes it significantly easier to get through because you have unlimited X-Men, you have astonishing X-Men, and so there's a lot of good characters there. And then even past year doesn't really get that bad. Spider-Verse is fine because you have Web Warriors, right? So I don't know if they can do it necessarily, but they should have a better chance anyways. But there's a lot of characters that are going to get fucked up in this raid. So what are they wanting from us? Are they wanting us to bring these characters to level 95? I fucking hope not. And just to show you where my aim is, just for sheer hilarity. Like, I actually do like AIM. Are they going to get a rework? But like, who's got the time? Who has the fucking time and resources and gold to kind of upgrade any of these characters for Gamma? You know, Gamma's always been the butt of the joke for Greek raids. Now it's even more so, because now not only does it require Gear Tier 14 on difficulty 4, but it requires Gear Tier 16 on difficulty 5. Now, I know that's going to be for the people in the top who want to, like, squeeze out a couple extra teal elite orbs, but it's frankly just the juice ain't worth the squeeze on this one. And I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that out. But at the end of the day, what are their expectations of us for some of this content? I don't mind that it wasn't actually communicated that it was going to come out, but what I'm confused about is what they want us to do with this. What do they want us to do with these new difficulties? Are we supposed to be running it, or are we not supposed to be running it? Gear Tier 16 seems, it seems like you're probably going to need Gear Tier 16 to be able to clear those nodes based on the power that we just saw. But what are they asking for us on top of that? And that's where I don't know. Are they expecting us to, Gear 16 these shitty characters? Are there a whole slew of reworks around the corner? There's a lot of unknown questions here, and I'd be very curious, both from people at the top and not, what their plans are for the upcoming Gamma difficulties, or right now anyways, for 4.4, 4.5. If there's anyone running 4.5, let me know in the comments down below, and what your experience has been with it today, or in the last little while here, because I'd be honestly, and if there's any links, someone can DM me, like a Discord link, if anyone has, a YouTube link. If there's any videos out there of like 4.5 gameplay, I would love to cover that just for sheer hilarity, because I think it's going to be an absolute gong show. Unfortunately, I don't think I have even 5 Gear Tier 16 characters of the right ones to even enter. Even my cap and stuff like that is not a Gear Tier 16 yet, so it's just not going to happen for me. But I would love to even just attempt it, just to attempt some of the first few 4.5 nodes, because honestly, it's so hilarious. It's so messed up. Some of the damage stats are just out of this world. Like, it's just, I imagine that most people are going to get one shot. I don't know what they were thinking. Hopefully alpha and beta, when that comes out at some time, that's going to be significantly easier because of the trait differentials and the way that it's a lot easier to get in. But nonetheless, you do need 5 characters to start the node, and that's going to be quite a challenge. That's it. This is just some late night musings for me, because I thought about this. I saw the map up and I was like, hey, let's talk about it, because I wanted to bring it up. So that's it, everyone. Until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. And don't forget, there is going to be an upcoming event video for the Crushers of whatever, the Absorbing Man event, after we see it in game, because I am not going to be putting it out early like I normally do. I want to wait until the event stuff comes out in the game to clarify and make sure that it's actually working properly, unlike the existing one that we have right now that never showed the caps that were supposed to happen, things like that. So just to make sure that we are getting what we got on the blog. That's it, everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next video.